welcome to this special edition of the Making Stories podcast YouTube channel, Claire and me talking about things. Today is a very special video because we'll be previewing all of the samples of our new issue 7, Joy, that is going to be published on March 24th, or maybe when you're watching this, it has already launched because this video will be available indefinitely on the YouTube channel. This is the perfect intro for the sample.
It's awesome. We're doing a video.
We're doing a video. We do a video every other week. You would have thought I have this down by now. But this is us. So this is not a super polished, we're just being us. Like, I'm Hanna Lisa, and over there is my wonderful dear friend and colleague Claire, and together we're a part of Making Stories. And here at Making Stories, we're all about all things sustainability and knitting. We publish our Making Stories magazine twice a year. So the issue that we're going to be previewing today is our Spring 2022 issue with the theme Joy. We also sell a curated selection of sustainably produced yarns in our web shop. If you are interested in the yarns, because we do offer quite a few of the yarns that we'll be talking about today, do check out the web shop, but you can also check out the other video on this channel that is all about the yarn preview for issue 7, because we have a few really exciting new additions to the shop, but we didn't want to cram everything into one video. So we split it up. So this is just all about the samples. We have 12 patterns in our issue 7. And I thought we could start with just talking a little bit about the design brief, because I always find that fun. So the theme of issue 7 is joy, and our design brief for this issue was very different than anything that we'd ever done before, because we basically gave the designers free rein. We said, just design something that brings you joy. It could be something with your favorite stitch pattern, or your absolute love relationship with a special construction, you know, a colorway that you've always wanted to use, anything like that. And it led to so many amazing designs. It's such a beautiful collection. And
I love it.
It's so special because every time that I look at one of the samples, I'm like, this is actually something that made another person really, really happy, hopefully. So yeah. 12 designs, half of them are garments, half of them are accessories. All of them are super wearable, because that is one of the most important things of sustainability, the way that we interpret it, is that you actually make things that you will wear and love for a very, very long time. And so when we're selecting designs, we're always taking care that they are wearable and that they're also customizable to whatever, you know, you will want to customize them to, be that body length, bust circumference, all of those things. So, yeah.
That was a great introduction. I got distracted with the magazine while you did it, so yay.
Woohoo! Ooh, a last thing before we dive into the samples, because I just said, you know, like wearing and loving something for a long time. We know that often when you're selecting a knitting pattern or a yarn for a knitting pattern, you know, there are questions around, is that something that's the right fit for me? How do I modify this to actually make it fit my body? Is this yarn a good fit? We do have a lot of content on our blog around that. So, you know, if you are, for example, looking for advice on how to get gauged, there's a wonderful article about that. So search on our website, use the search function. If you can't find anything and you need support, we're always here to help. Like, you can always email us with any question, no matter whether that's, you know, a tiny little thing of like, I don't really know how to knit this stitch, or a bigger thing like, I'm contemplating these 2 different yarns for this project. Which one do you think would work better? Because that's what we're here for.
Exactly. There might also be a sneaky new video on Get Engaged on the YouTube channel right now, which isn't live as we record this, but it will be by the time this goes live also. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'll link everything, and I'll put little links up here because I know how to do that now, which was very exciting. Oh, you're using your cup. It's
Christmas
so pretty.
gift from Claire. It's so pretty. It's my favorite mug right now. I tend to go through phases. Like, I have a favorite mug for a few weeks, so this is my current favorite one.
Yay! I'm the same. So this is my morning coffee cup.
Pretty.
It is pretty, isn't it? So I'm the same way. I have very specific cups that I use for different things. I even have like a specific hot chocolate cup. And I don't drink hot chocolate very often, so, you know, there's that. But yeah, anyway.
Okay.
Samples!
We're going to go through them in the order of the magazine. So, if you maybe already have the magazine, if you're the subscriber, or, you know, like, you can skip along with us
Follow
through
along.
the magazine. Exactly.
Follow along.
Or otherwise, you know roughly, where to skip it in order to find a specific pattern. Okay. The first one, if I'm not mistaken, is Bubble Waves?
Sea Forest. Oh. No. Yay.
Love it. This is off to a great start. Okay.
We can do Bubble Waves if you like.
No, but it's fine. Sea Forest is actually also very great and very
gorgeous. It is the first part.
Okay. Let's talk about Sea Forest then. I love it. So Sea Forest, I'm really sorry. This is actually, well, this is life. But Sea Forest is an absolutely gorgeous pair of toe-up socks designed by Isabel Ale, who's a Spanish designer, for one of, I think, both our all-time favorite yarns, or at least yarn companies, Garthenor Organic Snowdonia sock. And they are super pretty. So they feature this gorgeous lace pattern with tiny little bobbles up the front of the foot, the top of the foot, not the front of the foot, the top of the foot and the front of the leg. I'm just going to show that in a little bit more detail. So it's so nice.
Pretty.
It's so pretty. It's basically lace, and then there's a cable, and then there's bobbles, and I think those are some of the prettiest socks I've seen in a long time.
And what do we call that heel again?
It's a Fliege heel.
Fliegen, that was what I was trying to find.
Yeah.
I've never knit that kind of heel before.
You know what? I knit it once on a pair of socks where the second one is still on the needles. And I remember thinking, it's such a genius heel construction because you have the gusset, which I need because I have a high instep. But then you have a really sleek sort of heel turn and heel flap. So what often happens for me is because I need that much fabric in the gusset, but I actually don't really need that much fabric here, is there's a bit of excess fabric.
Bunching.
And it bunches.
Yeah.
And this just doesn't do that because you don't actually have that much fabric as in a classic heel flap.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's super nice. I think it's pretty. It's really pretty.
Those are one of the, and I'm kind of picky about socks. I'm not normally like, the socks aren't normally the first thing that I want to cast on, but
I want to knit these.
They're definitely speaking to me.
Yeah. The other thing that I really like about them is that they have a super squishy garter stitch sole, so just really...
Which I love, because honestly, I tend to wear hand knit socks more for around the house. Not that I won't wear them in shoes, and you could totally wear those in shoes as well, because the Snowdonia's like a lighter gauge, but it'd be comfy for just like wearing around slipper socks as well. So
totally, yeah. So super pretty Isabel Alice Sea Forest socks. What's next?
Hey, guess what's next? Oh wait, no, it isn't. It's Fanlight. What is wrong with us? Fanlight is next in the magazine.
What did I do?
I keep thinking it's Bubble Waves next.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
No, I just completely... I just skipped to after the first article. That's what happened.
Ah.
That's what happened.
We do know this magazine, we promise. We've just been looking at it for so long. It's like, this is good.
So, Fanlight. For all the colorwork fans out there. a beautiful top-down colorwork sweater by our very dear friend Marina Skua, who's the queen of striking colorwork yokes, if you ask me. This is a classic circular yoke construction. So you start at the top, you do a little bit of short row shaping at the back, so the back neck is lifted slightly, and then you have this super fun yoke, and then plain stockinette body and sleeves after you started on them, and then there's a cute little colorwork detail at the hem as well. Yeah, I really like that. And I also really like the way that Marina plays with the contrasting and the main colors, because you basically start with one of the contrasting colors and you introduce the main color as kind of the background of the yoke, and you also finish it in one of the contrasting colors. So I think it's just a really nice look. It's one that I very much like. And the good thing here is that you always only work 2 colors at a time. So even though you are using 3 colors, because it's kind of striped here, like you kind of striped in the second contrasting color, you only ever work 2 colors at a time, which I think is really good.
I like that. Yeah. I'm not good at using, I've done it now and again on like a single row, even that one row in the yoke, I'm like, 3 colors at a time.
It's not
Don't
fun.
like it.
Yeah.
No.
So Fanlight is designed for Marina's own amended 4-ply yarn, which has just gotten an update. She got a respin of the yarn, and it's now 100% lamb's wool. It's gorgeous. It's so fluffy. It's super good. And let me just grab something really quickly. It comes in a gorgeous range of colorways. So when I say that the yoke is fun to knit, I'm not just saying that. I actually knit like 2 yokes almost. So this is a little bit sneaky because most of the talking about these swatches I have done in the yarn preview video, but just so that you can see, like how the yoke looks like in different color combinations.
I love it. I love that monochrome as well. Monochrome's not something that I would normally go towards, but I think it looks really striking in that pattern.
It looks so good.
Beautiful.
I'm so in love with it, and it's such a good yarn. So, yeah, very well done, Marina, both on the pattern and the yarn.
And Marina's so good with color combinations and color theory. Like, I like that you can purchase most of her colors just complement each other, and so really well. I love it. I can't wait to get my hands on the new version of the Mend It. But guess what's next? Bubble waves!
Yay! Bubble waves!
Which I'm so excited about. So honestly, when we talk about joy and like techniques and things, I love bubbles. Bubbles are one of my favorite things ever. And I know not everyone loves a bubble, but how can you not love bubbles when they look like this? They're so much fun.
They are so cute.
Love it.
It's so good. And this is also such a fun pattern. I need to stand up in order to show you properly what's going on here, because otherwise I'll never be able to explain. So, Bubble Waves is a design by Marion Boulin. And it's a wrap, but it's a wrap with a very special feature. It's basically a square, but you have a slit from the center to one of the corners, which makes it super wearable. So you can wear it as a cape, you can wear it, bandana style. It's super good. And it's also really nice because you start working this like a half, so from the inside out, and it's just squishy garter stitch all the way until you reach the little bubbles, and then you just introduce the little bubbles. So
it's so nice.
Yeah.
Look
and it's
at it.
Also so soft.
That's the thing. I just kind of want to like cocoon myself in it. It looks so cozy.
I have dreams of stealing this sample. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it because Marianne lives in Berlin and owns a yarn shop, and the yarn shop actually stocks our patterns and magazine, and I would like to stay friends with her and not compromise that.
And she's going to want that back.
Yeah,
she's definitely going to want that back. Yeah.
So this is designed for Isager's Alpaca 1 held together with Frida Fuchs's Fifi, which is a silk and mohair blend. And you need 4 different colors. So you need 1 color in the main yarn, so in the Isager yarn, or in the main color in the Isager yarn and a silk mohair yarn, and that is the gray. And then when you introduce the contrasting colors here, you just switch out the mohair yarn. So yeah, super nice. I really, really love this. Such a fun construction as well. I remember we were both so thrilled when we got the submission. We were like, yes.
Yeah, I was really excited about it because it just, I don't know, there was something about it just, the theme is joy, and to me that's just,
yeah,
it looks like it would be a joy to make and then to look at and then to snuggle up in.
Yep, totally.
Okay, next one, which I love the name, Serendipity.
Serendipity! Yay!
She's gorgeous.
Such a wonderful, super wearable t-shirt. So this is the only t-shirt pattern that we have in this collection, which I'm super happy that we have a t-shirt pattern, because this is like one of the things that we don't really get a lot of submissions for, but especially when it's worked up in a lighter weight yarn, I think knitted t-shirts are so good. Like, I have a couple of knitted tops, and they're the things that I just grab whenever it's warm. So Serendipity is by Tanya DeJoy, a US-based designer for a US-based yarn, Kelborn Woolens Mojave, which is a cotton linen blend, if I'm not mistaken. And it is knit in pieces. So you knit a front and you knit a back, and then you seam them together. And the core feature are those super cute eyelets that you have at the yoke. You have a row of eyelets at the seam, at the hem, and then you also have the eyelets repeated down the back, which I think
love
is so
that
pretty.
Detail.
A really nice little sexy, just the kind of sexy that I like.
Because it's
good.
Because it's reversible as well, so you can wear it either way too. You could, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could. You could also, because it's knit in pieces, if you're not digging this, or you want more of it, you could just make 2 front pieces or 2 back pieces.
That's a great point.
Yeah,
that's a really great point.
The other thing that I like about this is you seam the shoulders, and that also gives you options how narrow or wide you want the neckline to be. So this is more of like a boat neck, but you could totally just seam that up a little bit more and then have more of a scoop neck. So it's also nice.
That would be so pretty layered over. Do you know, I keep seeing like the knitted bustier
the
style.
Knitted bralettes.
Yeah, wouldn't that be really nice layered over with like another pop of colour underneath? That'd be really pretty. With like the eyelets down the front, then you get like a little flash of something exciting.
Or I would do this, I love like little lace details on bras. I'm not sure if that's too much information. But if you have like a little lace thing and that is showing through at the back, I think that's also very pretty.
That would be pretty. I love that. It's like a little, what do they call that? Like a little peekaboo type panel. We're going to call it a peekaboo. We're going to go for it.
What's next?
Another pair of socks. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. It's Gangy, so, which, this gorgeous pair of socks with one of the most beautiful little cables that I've seen. I was really excited by the look of these cables.
They are super good. They were by Tiffany Chen, who I believe is based in San Francisco, and they're knit cuff down. And you start with a modified rib that then flows into these striking cables that Claire already mentioned. And then you also play with a bit of fun color blocking. So you can, like some of these cable knots, you actually work in a contrasting color, and then you have a contrasting heel. and a little contrasting stripe at the front, and I think that just gives them something extra special. So yeah, very pretty. Very excited about them. They were designed for a really special yarn. You know that we really like those farm yarns. We know that they're not super readily available, but if you are based in the US, I highly encourage you to look for Youthful Fiber Farm. Kim and her partner are producing yarns from their own animals, and this is their Prineville sock base, 100% natural sock yarn, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And I know that Kim has been working on putting together kits for these socks. So yeah, Youthful Fiber
that's
Farm.
Gonna be exciting.
Really, really nice.
Oh, I love them. Another pair. Like I said, normally the socks aren't the first thing that I jump to, but I just love that texture on the top. It's gonna show. I got completely distracted and show the other photos. So.
Yeah, they were so good though. They were also a little bit, like, they were really warm, you know, where the Sea Forest socks were kind of on the lighter side. Like, these would be really good winter socks. And I really
they would.
You know, like if you have them in like Chelsea boots or something, and then the little cables peek out the top.
I was just going to say, because it's nice because the cable's quite a chunky one, but because the rest is stockinette, you could do something really cute with like, if you have some, especially have like a pair of brogues or something, like something like that, and you're absolutely right. And then those cables are popping out. It'd be so nice. But shall we move on to the next one? Because this cigar, which I know has been a firm favourite so far. And I'm not surprised.
I'm also not surprised. So when we're talking about wearable patterns, I think this is a prime example for a super wearable pattern. So it's a pretty boxy but cropped cardigan with a really deep V. A really deep V, right?
Really deep V, yeah, that's right.
You know, when you start thinking about something that you just said, like I sometimes have that with the word penguin. Like in German, penguin, I say it and then I start thinking about it. I'm like, this is actually not the name of the animal, but it totally is. So, sorry.
No, I get you. I say weird things all the time.
So, Cigar cardigan, it has a really deep V, drop shoulder construction with slight balloon sleeves and gorgeous details. Martha Foradin, the designer of this cardigan, chose a braid stitch to run down the front. Ooh, hello. So run down the front of the cardigan, but then it's also repeated on the hem and the cuffs, and which I find so fun. Also here, where you work the drop sleeve, the drop sleeve shoulder, and then you pick up stitches, there is also a good, and I think it's one of those really, really nice details. The rest of the cardigan is stockinette and twisted rib, but with those details just makes it extra special. And the other detail that I really like is it has an integrated button band, which I love. It's a twisted stitch button band, super nice. I also really like she picked these gorgeous wooden buttons for the sample. They're super good. So yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. Now I've seen it in the sample, my brain is flipping back and forth as to what I want to actually cast on from issue 7.
That's dangerous.
It's just flipped back. It's just flipped back to Cigar.
Yep. I know, but this is also the fun thing about recording these sample videos, because I mean, we've worked on this issue for over a year, right? And so at some point, like with any creative work, right? At some point in the process, I don't want to say you fall out of love with it, but you know, the going gets a bit tough and you've seen the things a million times and you're like, So for me, it's always such a pleasure to then revisit them once we actually publish them, because that's the time when I get excited about things again. And
exactly.
They're so beautiful. I think this one, I might need to make one of these as well. I don't have enough cardigans, I realize. Like, it's the same way. that I tend to just gravitate towards, and like, because they're so easy to throw over, and I'm always either too hot or too cold.
Ooh, we should. And I love a V-neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should quickly talk about the yarn though, because it's also gorgeous yarn. So Cigar is designed for 2 yarns held together. You can see that we chose a slight marl. So we chose 2 yarns by Crea Deluxe. That's a Danish yarn company founded by 2 sisters who had the desire to make yarns that are in line with their sustainable life values, which I think is such a beautiful mission. And they succeeded. And we chose their organic wool 1, which is the beige color, and their deluxe silk mohair with RMS certified mohair, which is just a cream color in the sample for these yarns. And we do carry them in the shop. So
yeah,
we
and
do.
there might be some beautiful colorways in there. You should definitely check them out. I've got my eye on the blue, which is gorgeous. But if you want to see any more, definitely check out our yarn video, because Hanna Lisa's got into all details. And it's very dangerous though, so beware.
Sorry, not sorry. Really not sorry.
No,
I love all the yarns. Like, I'm so happy that we started carrying yarns. It's such a joy. Like, it's so good because
so much fun.
There are so many people out there who are doing amazing work in the sort of sustainable production of yarn, traceability of yarn space, and just getting to choose which ones we carry, and then getting to knit up swatches, and then getting to talk about them. It's just seriously making me very happy.
Yay, I'm glad it's making me very happy as well, because I get to spy on them all as well.
Alrighty, what is next?
So, next one, Wrapped in a Hug, which is another shawl from the collection.
Oh, it's another shawl. Let me get up to show you properly. So this is a shape that I don't think we've published a ton of.
No.
It's a shallow crescent. Does it actually have a different name than that? I always say shallow crescent shaped shawl.
No, crescent is because so there's crescent that's like that, and then if it gets any less, it's more half moon. Then it's an interesting construction, because it's where you increase really rapidly along that cast on row, like, which gives it that really elongated.
Here, right?
Yeah, you cast on in the center, and then because you are basically increasing very rapidly, I think with this one you increase on every row, if I remember rightly, but I'm not 100%. So you get this really lovely elongated shallow shawl, and I think it's really good I think crescent shawls are lovely if you like a scarf style, but you don't want to sit there knitting back and forth on a scarf. If you kind of want to get right into a project, I think crescent shawls are great for that. And especially if you have trouble, sometimes I love a triangular shawl to knit, but I do tend to, I need a really big one, because maybe I've just got slopey shoulders or something, but I can never seem to keep the smaller ones on. So if you want a lighter shawl, and triangular shawls aren't really your thing, then definitely try a crescent shawl, because look,
I really like the
such a wearable shape.
It's a super wearable shape, and especially for me, I love triangular shawls, but I'm always, because like I usually wear jackets, so jackets with zippers, and then I always end up with a problem of like, what do I do with like the little tip of the triangle, and it's like either flapping out or like, and this one just doesn't have it. And it also has a gorgeous stitch pattern. Oh, by the way, we should maybe talk about who this is by. It's by Marina Storm, a Greek designer who is based in Germany, and she chose this gorgeous smoked rib pattern.
Beautiful.
The first time I talked about this on a video for our stockist, I said smoked rib pattern. It's not. It's a smoked.
It's not smoked.
And then you have this super cute lace border. Ooh. Hello, lace border.
So pretty.
Yeah. And it is designed for Soc Una Trocas Ondine. Soc Una Troca is a wonderful hand dyer from Spain. And we chose a speckled colorway for the body, and then this gorgeous pink. So you need 2 different colorways. So,
beautiful.
Absolutely stunning. And I think also probably really fun to knit. with the lace. I love
lace. Because it's like, especially because you're doing the smocking as well, because it's such a meditative, I can't say that word today, meditative stitch pattern. My brain today, I'm telling you, will not attempt the word again, but it's a really relaxing stitch pattern. And then you put the contrasting colour in and then create the smocking, because it's a rib essentially then with the smocking around it with that contrasting colour. That would be such a relaxing, get cozy on the couch stitch pattern.
Bliss. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's next?
Sake.
The second cardigan of the collection. And welcoming back Marianne Meunier, who designed Yoki, one of everyone's all-time favorite patterns from issue 5. And she does her cable magic again in Sakai. Same here for the words. Just look at that. Hello.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Is that gorgeous or what? So, top-down cardigan, Mariana always has really interesting construction details, and she uses short row shaping in a really cool way to shape the shoulders, which I think is great because it requires a little bit of tension, but it also means that you get really good shoulder shaping, and at the same time, the cable pattern just flows seamlessly from front to back.
Which is beautiful.
So cool.
Has she done the same construction with this one as she did with Yoki? I think it's a similar concept. Yeah. So yeah, it must have been because Yoki was also drop sleeve. Yeah, because I can actually very quickly show you then in that case that, because it was the same way with Yoki for the shoulders. It did take a little extra. It wasn't a moment where I could sit and put anything on Netflix and not see what I was doing. But once I got past the shoulder shaping, you get this beautiful pattern and a really nice shaped shoulder by doing that technique, and I absolutely love it. And it's gonna have such a nice fit, and I can see Sake's gonna do the same.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the other thing that is so fun about this is you basically knit the back and you knit the front, and then sort of at the underarm you join them, and then you just knit back and forth. So there's no seaming here. You have nice slim,
gorgeous
stockinette sleeves, and then a really nice shawl color. I just think in terms of proportions, this is just also really, really well done, because I often find that especially with an all over cable pattern, a cardigan can be super heavy, and this is not heavy. Like, this doesn't feel heavy to me. This feels like something that I would just want to throw over.
Which is really good, because I think sometimes, and that we'll get to the yarn in a minute, which is exciting, but that is something I think with, if it was a heavier yarn, you can get, because it is a longer cardigan. I've done that in the past, and you end up, no matter how, and I'm quite rough on my knits as well, but you can end up with quite a bit of stretching depending on the fibre you pick for longer cardigans. So this is just, it's juicy and light and bouncy and those cables. I could even see as well, if you really like this cable pattern and but you're thinking all over cables are just a little bit too much for me, I could totally see you being able to knit the back section if you wanted to in stockinette and just keeping the front with the cables too. So if that's something, if you're loving the cables, but then maybe you find you want something a little plainer on the back, you could totally do that too, and I think that would be beautiful as well. But I do love that. I mean, just look at that back photo.
Yeah, it's so good. And honestly, those cables are so fun to knit. I'm gonna pull a special swatch for you because I know you're gonna love this.
Have you been knitting these cables? I didn't know that. Knitting all the cables.
Knitting all the cables. I have the 8th swatch of this on my needles right now because we've added a very special yarn to the shop that we're so excited about. That is the one that Marianne used for Sakai, which is Terrero Naturas Juliette. And I know a lot of you have been asking for this since we added Ulysse to the shop. So Juliette is basically the bigger sister of Ulysse. It's a 3-ply woolen spun, very, very round yarn, technically classified as a worsted weight, but as with Ulyss, you can knit it to a lot of different gauges. And with Sakai, you actually knit it at quite a loose gauge, which I think is great because it makes the cardigan really light. And yeah.
Ooh. I imagine that Sake will grow quite quickly as well, with it being like a larger gauge with that heavier yarn.
Yeah. So, because I knit quite a few of these, I know that this, which is 1.5 cable pattern repeats, takes me about an hour and a half. Which, I mean,
good.
Look, like, that's like half of the back shoulder.
Yeah.
It's not
That's pretty impressive.
So yeah.
You also, just so people know though, Hanna Lisa also knits freakishly fast. She does compared to me anyway. If I see Hanna Lisa knitting compared to my little, it's like Speedy Gonzales. But yeah, you are a fast knitter.
The other thing, well, that I would advise if you are looking to knit sake, which I think you should because it's gorgeous, look into cabling without a cable needle, because that's going to make you a lot faster. And with that yarn, it's absolutely certainly doable. And I taught myself with YouTube, like we do, how to cable without a cable needle a few years back, and I have not used a cable needle since. You don't need one. Really
this is going to sound dramatic, but learning to cable without a cable needle changed my life. It really did. Because I am a slow knitter and I also lose needles a lot. So I spent more time hunting for my cable needle than I did actually knitting. So when I actually got to learn to knit without. I'll find a video. I'll find a video and link it below.
Cool.
Then if anyone wants to check it out, because it does really help.
It does.
But okay, next pattern. Tilda.
A really, really, really cute fingerless mittens pattern.
I love those.
They
look so happy.
Yeah, aren't they? They're so nice. So with the bobbles, you kind of see that a lot of people chose bobbles. I think they're all thinking what we think, which is they're really joyful. So Tilda I'm just going to put them on so you can see how they fit. They're like a really nice fingerless mitten that I think is perfect for, spring when you're maybe like me riding the bike to get your kid to daycare in the morning, or you riding the bike to go to work or something, like you just want to have a little something to keep your hands cozy. So super nice. Also with just really nice shaping, you have a nice shaping around the thumb, which I think is always really good, with a bit of a gusset here, and twisted rib. And then you have this cute little cable with these super fun contrasting colored bobbles.
It's so fun.
And they're knit in a silk mohair, and we thought that Clara Gleis, who's the designer of this pattern, was so clever with doing it like that, because like silk mohair has been such a craze over the last years, and I think everyone has like bits and bobs of like silk mohair yarn lying around that they used in something. And because you don't need a lot, I think you need like 10, 50 meters or something. You really do not need a lot.
No.
You can just pick any color here, that you have lying around. I've also seen on her Instagram that she is working on a version that has different colored bobbles, so you can do like a little ombre effect, which I thought was genius. Super cool. Yeah,
that's such a nice idea. I can totally see these as well. Yeah. Wouldn't they be good for gift knitting as well?
Oh, they would be super good for gift knitting. Because, you also, like, with hand sizes, you can do a guesstimate. Like, it's not as if, you need, like, measurements for a sweater or something. Super cool. Yeah. And they're designed in Jameson and Smith's 2-ply, so they're jump away, which is also really cool yarn. Just really like them.
I really like those. I'm definitely going to be, because I love fingerless mittens, so I definitely see several pairs of these, because I always lose them as well. I'm terrible at like losing a fingerless mitten, so yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing this. Now we've got my other possible cast on which is Merrymaker.
Oh my god, this is so beautiful. Oh.
I always loved it, and then I saw Jess's version from Ginger Twist Studio.
Did you see that they both made one?
Yes. Which got me on my
Big shout out to Ginger Twist Studio in Edinburgh, where Jess and I'm blanking on her name, Kat?
Oh, I'm blanking also. That's terrible.
I think so. Have both knit a Merrymaker. So they have 2 shop samples and they knit them in like a week. And they're both gorgeous. So Merrymaker is designed by Jill Thompson Beach, and it's a top-down circular sweater with a pretty boxy and cropped silhouette. You do a little bit of short row shaping at the back. We gotta have some fun. You do a little bit of short row shaping at the back, and then it's a classic circular yoke construction with these super cute zigzag color work stripes.
It's so fun.
Aren't they fun? Like,
it's
and
so
like,
fun.
I just love how, you know, the lines of the sweater also continue through the sleeves, like here, like they all just line up. Super cute, super cute, and super wearable. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I keep seeing it, and I love the several color ones, but I also think it would be really good in just 2 colors as well. So I keep imagining like a deep yellow with a lighter yellow going through.
Ooh, yeah, and I think we had a tested version who did them in like, I think maybe 3 different blues or so, which also is a really nice effect.
So more
the
tonal,
yarn that we used,
No, I was just saying, I also love that with the neutral and then all the pops of colour on as well. So
super fun. I think this is really super versatile depending on what you want in your wardrobe. The yarn that we used for this, we're so excited because it's a yarn company that we've been working with for the first time, and they were super lovely. Neighborhood Fiber Co., based in the US, as is Jill. We started trying to match designers and yarn companies also sort of depending on where they are, so to bring them closer together to also cut down on transport emissions. And Neighborhood Fiber Co.'s Organic Studio Decay is the cream color, and then their Suri is the contrasting colors. So you also have a little bit of texture effect.
Because I love that the colour work, then the waves have like that little bit of floof about them because it's the alpaca. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Such a sweet sweater. I really like it. We have 2 more to go, right? Yay.
Colour waves.
Color wave socks.
Super interesting heel construction alert. Very exciting.
Super interesting heel construction. So, Colorway Socks by Victoria Gerassimova. They're knit from the top down. And you have this really beautiful traveling stitch pattern set on a reverse stockinette background. And you have an intarsia heel. It's so cool.
It's so cool.
It's such a cool construction. And I can say that because I actually knit one. So this is not blogged, which is why it looks like weird. But
oh, I like those colours though you picked.
I know.
Cute.
So I actually knit one of those, and it's a super fun heel construction. I've never knit intarsia before in my life. I admit that.
I don't think I have.
So if you haven't, you can totally still knit these socks, and I think it's again a really genius way of giving you a bit of more fabric here, because you actually do have a gusset here. Like you just can't really you can't really see it because it is inside the
that's really cool.
Inside the pattern here. It's really well done. And then you have this really cute heel flap and turn. I think it's a really nice way of doing a contrasting heel.
Yeah.
And the
because
other
normally oh sorry love, I was just saying normally to get like that contrasting heel and it look neat, you normally have to do like an afterthought heel or something, which I like, but they don't always give the best fit. So
Yeah, they don't really work for me. I'm excited. I have a pair of my needles right now with like your mini gusset instructions, but I think this one might also be a really nice one. The other fun thing about this is that when you're done, you can just embroider with your contrasting color a little bit. So that's what Victoria has done to get these really cool looking lines here. And you can, these are on the embroider on the same, but you can totally just embroider them on different traveling stitches. Super, super cool.
Oh, so fun.
The yarn that we use for this is a yarn by a dyer who, since we started, we have worked with that dyer a few times before, and after we commissioned this yarn, it actually turned out that he is anti-trans and super transphobe, and so we immediately decided that this goes against every single value that we have in the business, and that we were not comfortable working with a dyer anymore, which is why you won't find any mention of any yarn for this pattern anywhere, basically. Any fingering weight sock yarn will do. My own sample is in Garth & Orr Snowdonia sock, actually, which also is really, really nice. It has a little bit of a different feel to it because it's a bit more rustic. But yeah, also super good for stash diving, really. You know, any of those sock sets with contrasting minis will work really great with this.
Exactly. You could even do, because the lines are embroidered as well, you could totally mix up and have a few different colours going on there, which would be kind of fun as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, are we down to the final one?
We are!
Hupata.
Hupata! Such a beautiful, right? So Hupata is a pattern by Bérangère Caillot, who also goes by Lilophile, a wonderful French designer with a lot of gorgeous patterns. Top-down construction, drop shoulder sleeves with gorgeous balloon sleeves. It's pretty boxy, it's pretty cropped, just the way that we like it at the moment. And with a really nice neck shaping. So you can see quite a bit of short row shaping here at the back to get a higher neck, and then really like a belay neck. And then look at that color work.
Oh, and those color, look, it's like the same color that I'm wearing. I absolutely love the yellow. It's just, Me too. See, now this is another one that I want to knit.
Sorry, not sorry.
Need more hours in the day.
Super good color work, and because the sleeves are balloon sleeves, it's not as if you're knitting color work on a super small circumference. It's actually really doable, and it's super cute, and a low contrast version like the one that we chose here, but there were also some tester versions of like a cream color for the body, and then a sort of higher contrast color for the color work, and those are gorgeous. The yarn that we used for this is Maison Septembres Rustique, which is a French yarn, a really nice fingering weight / sport weight rustic yarn. Very, very pretty.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So, that was it.
Show
12 patterns. Oh, so pretty.
I know. And it's been so nice. It's like you said, it's so nice to sit here and revisit them, because you're absolutely right. By the time an issue comes out, we've already, issue 8 is in testnet right now, and we've got a call for submissions out for issue 9. So your brain kind of moves on once they arrive, and it's all printed. So it's kind of nice to revisit it and sit down, because I'm really excited for this issue.
Yeah, me too. Alrighty, that was our sample preview for issue 7. Also do check out the other videos that we have on issue 7. So there's a special gauge video, there's also the yarn preview video. You can get issue 7 as a subscription already. You can get the yarns over on our website, making-stories.com. You can get issue 7 as of March 24th as a single as a single pattern, not as a single pattern, as a single copy, both in print and in digital form through our web shop and then in digital form also through Revelry. So yeah, and we'll pop links to our web shop down below so that you can check all of those things out.
Yay!
Woohoo! Thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions on any of the samples, or if you just want to let us know which one you liked best, just comment down below. We're always curious.
Let us know. Yeah. Or if you've got issue 7 and you know what you're casting on as well, please do let us know if you've got plans, because there is something coming up on the 1st of April that we'll be sharing about very soon. So if you have got plans to cast on, maybe get prepared for then, so you can join in on something fun. And also, someone please decide for me if I need to knit Merrymaker or Cigar, because I really don't know.
Both.
Both. Yeah, I need more hours.
All right, I'll ponder that. I'll circle back with you in the next podcast episode, maybe.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, lovelies. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.